when are you finally going to get a divorce from Dad? I'm really getting sick and tired of you always being at the house doing nothing but chores all the time, so let's go.
Huh? Sarah, what do you mean by that?
I'm asking you to divorce him because I don't want you here in this house anymore.
It's clear you have a strong dislike for me, but if you had objections, you should have expressed them before the marriage. Why bring it up now? I've been together with your dad for years now, so it's really not the best time to be asking something like that now.
The only reason I never complained about you back then was because ever since my real mom left, I've been the one responsible for all the household chores. The situation wasn't ideal, but it was manageable. When Dad told me he wanted to marry someone and brought you home, I thought to myself, finally, I might be free from these endless chores. I was thrilled at the prospect of having some relief and even approved of your marriage to him. But once we actually began living together, the reality was far different from my expectations. I was freed from doing housework, but having to live with someone who I felt was an annoying old woman was more distressing.
Annoying old woman, huh?
And let's not forget, just 6 months after the wedding, Dad had that accident, ended up hospitalized, didn't he? Being stuck living alone with a strange aunt has been excruciating. It feels like a punishment, if I'm being honest.
A strange aunt?
It feels so good to finally voice my true feelings. I have had those pent up for so long now that I had no clue what I was going to do if I didn't get them off my chest.
I'm happy to hear that you're feeling better now, but if I leave, won't you have to handle the housework again?
From now on, I plan to arrange for professional cleaning services, and I'll invest in time-saving kitchen gadgets and cleaning equipment. This way I can minimize my own work and ensure everything runs smoothly. Of course, I'll also be asking that my dad doesn't make as much of a mess when he's back home.
Sarah, are you thinking about the expenses involved? Not only will all those fancy gadgets you're talking about cost a lot, but getting a cleaning service or even a maid to come over and clean, that's way too much money.
I know that, and of course I've been thinking about the cost. Dad's income seems to have increased since marrying you, so with that extra money, we can take care of all the required needs.
Huh?
Since you married Dad, his standard of living has improved, hasn't it? This means his salary must have risen, making it easier for him to support a full-time housewife like you. If you were to leave, there would be a reduction in household expenses, which would provide me with a chance to enjoy a more comfortable lifestyle with the saved money.
Excuse me, can we talk about something?
What else do you want to talk about?
I'm not a full-time housewife.
Huh? But you're always at home. Didn't you quit your job when you married Dad and told me that you'd be home a lot more often than before?
Yes, I did leave my corporate job, but...
See? You're not working.
Earning money isn't just about having a job at a company.
Huh?
Currently, I work remotely, which means that I'm pretty much able to work from home all the time.
Huh? Isn't that just doing a bit of work on the side while you handle household chores? Isn't that called piecework?
It might seem that way, but I also have passive income streams.
What's that? Even if you use fancy terminology, it still looks like piecework to me. Like you've got some kind of a small side gig or something.
Sarah, you're about to graduate from high school and have plans to go to junior college. You should start acquiring the knowledge that will be useful when you enter the workforce.
Huh? I don't understand what you're talking about. Anyway, I need my allowance.
I just gave it to you last week.
It's not enough.
No, it's not happening. If you want that money, then maybe start doing some chores as well, and I'll pay you for your hard work.
You are so stingy. My last mom was never like this.
Sarah, sorry for interrupting you, but there's something I'd like to ask you about.
What's that?
Do you know what happened to my wristwatch?
What?
It's the silver one that I've always got on when I'm going out.
I don't know where it is. Actually, I never care about what kinds of things you have on anyway, so I don't know.
I see. Well, it's the one I got from your dad. He gave it to me instead of an engagement ring to show that I promised him my love.
What? So you never got an engagement ring?
He told me that a wristwatch is something one can get a lot more use out of, so that's what we went with.
Oh.
I just wanted to ask you about this in case you had any memory of what happened to it.
Well, I still don't know.
I see. All right, then.
Hey, Mia? You returned to your family home after my high school graduation ceremony yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. I'm currently staying at my family home.
As I mentioned before, I came back because there is something important to announce. Dad's discharge date from the hospital's been set.
I'm aware of that. I received a notification about it, too.
So, regarding what we discussed the other day, could you please act on it soon?
What exactly are you referring to?
I mean, how long do you plan on staying at Dad's house? It's time for you to stop leeching off of him.
Who is leeching off of whom?
It's obviously you.
I'm not leeching. I have been working and contributing my share to the household expenses.
Well, I anticipated you might say that, so I've taken the liberty of throwing out all your belongings.
What?
I thought that might be the only way to get you to leave. Get out now. You need to divorce Dad immediately.
Oh, is that how you want to handle it? If that's the case, then you'll need to manage your dad's hospitalization costs yourself.
What are you talking about? You're acting like you're the one covering Dad's medical expenses.
Since you seem to be so concerned, why don't you take care of your dad's discharge arrangements? It might be best if you hear directly from him about his current situation and what needs to be done.
Huh? Maya!
What's going on?
Is it true that you and Dad have officially divorced? And did you really move into a high-rise apartment worth $10,000 a month? Is it also true that you covered all of Dad's hospital bills by yourself? And is it true that Dad has resigned from his job and is now unemployed?
It's quite unbelievable, but yes, everything you've heard is true.
Seriously?
To clarify everything, it might be helpful to organize your questions in chronological order.
Chronological order?
Let's start with your dad's accident. Since it was a self-inflicted accident, insurance coverage was not an option.
So you ended up covering the entire expense yourself?
Yes, that's correct. The accident involved a company car that had to be written off, so he was given the choice of either resigning or paying for the car. He opted to resign.
So it's essentially like being fired?
Yes, it's almost the same. Although your dad did receive some severance pay, it was significantly less than what he would have received if it had been a company-initiated dismissal.
I see.
Initially, my own income was sufficient to manage both the living expenses and hospital bills. Given the expletive nature of the company, I considered it a sort of unexpected blessing. But then the real issues began.
Issues?
Yes, the major problem with your dad's accident was that it occurred while he was on way to meet his mistress.
An affair? Dad had an affair?
Yes, I found this out when I visited Yoshiro-san's hospital room at an unusual time and discovered him with his mistress.
What?
After revealing the affair, further investigation showed that it had been ongoing since before our marriage. It appears he was interested in my family's wealth.
Huh? So your family is actually wealthy?
Yes, that's correct. You can think of it that way. After discovering the affair, I had to quickly manage the divorce proceedings and compensation claims. Following that, I moved back to the high-rise apartment that I owned before marriage.
Oh, the $10,000 high-rise?
Yes, this apartment was inherited from my late father. It was valued at 100 million yen when it was first purchased, but its current value is likely diminished.
But the high-rise...
Let's not dwell on the high-rise details and focus on the core issues. Because of the divorce, I won't be charging you for the hospital expenses I covered during our marriage. However, any remaining unpaid amounts will need to be settled by you.
But I'm unemployed.
And don't forget about the compensation money.
Oh, right.
By the way, the mistress has already paid her share, but your dad still hasn't paid his portion. I have a feeling that Dad's expenses have accumulated to an enormous amount. I'm concerned that his severance pay might not cover everything. How he manages his finances is not my concern, so you should discuss this matter directly with your dad. And Sarah, you too.
What about me?
Regarding the matter of you taking and selling various items of mine without permission?
Huh? You knew?
Of course. With only you and me in the house, I immediately suspected you. To gather concrete evidence, I installed hidden cameras in my room.
Cameras?
Yes, I have detailed records of what you took from my room, and I've also tracked the app accounts you used to sell those items.
That too?
You mentioned discarding my belongings, but it turns out you sold what you could, didn't you? The total damage, based on what I know, amounts to just over 5,000. I will make sure to claim that amount.
No way.
And what about the private school tuition for you?
Huh?
I was the one who paid for the entrance fee and tuition as a gesture of goodwill.
So you're the one who covered the entrance fee?
But when it comes to college, I won't be handling any future tuition costs, so you'll need to figure that out on your own.
Really? Dad doesn't seem reliable, so what should I do?
Well then, I think we're done here. From now on, please handle everything through a lawyer. Goodbye. Sarah's decision to take a leave of absence from junior college was a critical juncture in her life. Opting to step away from her studies temporarily, she embarked on a new chapter marked by independence and self-sufficiency. She moved into her own apartment and began working part-time to support herself. At first glance, this shift seemed like a positive transformation. On the surface, it appeared as though Sarah was making significant strides towards personal growth and responsibility. This new chapter promised a fresh start, free from the constraints and conflicts that had previously defined her life. However, reality often complicates seemingly straightforward transitions. Despite her best efforts, Sarah struggled with maintaining stability in her new life. Her part-time jobs were short-lived, and she was either dismissed from her positions or chose to leave them voluntarily. This pattern of frequent job changes was concerning. It seemed that Sarah was unable to find a job that suited her long-term, or perhaps she was struggling to meet the expectations and demands of her employers. This instability suggested deeper issues, whether they were related to her approach to work, her adaptability in different workplace environments, or other personal challenges she was facing. Meanwhile, my ex-husband was grappling with his own set of difficulties. Despite the urgent need to find employment and resolve the financial obligations we had discussed, he showed no significant signs of actively seeking work. His inaction and reluctance to address those financial responsibilities were sources of ongoing frustration. The financial disputes and unpaid amounts that I had requested from both him and Sarah remained unresolved, adding to the complexity and strain of the situation. The situation took a dramatic turn when Sarah's relatives intervened. Their involvement marked a significant shift in the narrative. One day, a black-painted van appeared at both Sarah's and my ex-husband's residences. The sight of those vans, coupled with their authoritative presence, suggested that serious action was being taken. The intervention was both dramatic and necessary, signaling a crucial turning point in the ongoing issues. Inside those vans were individuals tasked with collecting and transporting Sarah and my ex-husband away from their homes. The process was marked by visible distress and emotional upheaval. The intervention by Sarah's relatives aimed to address the unresolved financial issues and bring some degree of resolution to the prolonged disputes. The appearance of the black vans and the subsequent actions taken were necessary steps towards resolving the complex and ongoing problems that had affected all parties involved. Following the intervention, there was a noticeable shift in the financial situation. From the following month, payments began to be made in installments. This development was a significant improvement and indicated that progress was being made in addressing the outstanding financial obligations. Although the payments were being made in small amounts, the fact that they were occurring at all was a positive sign that Sarah and my ex-husband were now facing some level of accountability for their financial responsibilities. This change marked a crucial step toward resolving the long-standing issues that had plagued our lives. Despite these positive changes, I chose to focus on my own life and well-being. The period of dealing with financial disputes and personal upheavals had been incredibly taxing and stressful. Now that the issues were being addressed and some level of resolution was being achieved, I felt it was time to fully embrace the freedom of my single life. This newfound independence allowed me to enjoy a sense of peace and relaxation that had been elusive during the tumultuous period of dealing with these disputes. As I looked forward, I decided to focus on what truly mattered to me. The freedom from the past disputes and the opportunity to start anew provided a sense of rejuvenation. I was ready to move on from the challenges of the previous months and to embrace a future that promised greater stability and satisfaction. The experiences I had gone through provided valuable insights into responsibility, accountability, and the impact of personal actions on one's life. Reflecting on Sarah's situation, it was clear she had faced significant challenges. Her struggles with employment and the ongoing financial issues with my ex-husband highlighted the complexities of navigating personal and financial difficulties. However, the involvement of her relatives and the subsequent actions to address the outstanding payments were steps in the right direction. These changes suggested that Sarah was being held accountable for her responsibilities, and the support from her relatives played a crucial role in resolving the issues. It was evident that Sarah's journey was still ongoing. Despite the intervention and the progress in settling financial obligations, the path to stability was not straightforward. Her ongoing challenges with employment and her personal circumstances indicated that she had much to navigate before achieving the stability she sought. The support from her relatives was a crucial factor in helping her address these challenges, but the journey ahead remained complex. For me, the resolution of these disputes allowed for a sense of closure. The financial obligations that had been a source of stress and frustration were gradually being addressed. The payments made by Sarah and my ex-husband, though initially delayed, indicated that they were now facing the consequences of their actions and working to rectify the situation. This development provided a measure of relief and marked a turning point in the resolution of the issues. The involvement of Sarah's relatives and the subsequent actions they took were instrumental in bringing about these changes. Their intervention was a necessary step in resolving the financial disputes, ensuring that accountability was restored. The black-painted vans and the dramatic nature of the intervention highlighted the seriousness and the need for decisive action. As I moved forward, I was determined to embrace the freedom and independence that came with being single. The experiences of the past had shaped my approach to life and provided valuable lessons. I looked forward to a future where I could focus on my own goals and aspirations, free from the burdens of past disputes. The resolution of the financial issues allowed me to fully appreciate the sense of closure and to look ahead with renewed hope and optimism. The entire experience had been a journey of growth and self-discovery. It had taught me the importance of responsibility, accountability, and the impact of personal actions on one's life. While the resolution of the disputes provided a sense of closure, it also marked the beginning of a new chapter. I was ready to step into this new chapter with a renewed sense of purpose and a commitment to embracing the opportunities and challenges that lay ahead. In conclusion, Sarah's journey and the resolution of the financial disputes were significant milestones in the narrative of our lives. The intervention by her relatives and the subsequent progress in settling financial obligations marked important steps towards addressing the issues that had affected us. The experiences of the past provided valuable lessons and insights, shaping my approach to life and reinforcing the importance of responsibility and accountability. As I looked toward the future, I was ready to embrace the opportunities and challenges that lay ahead with a renewed sense of purpose and optimism.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Oh, this is unbelievable! If I'd known this was going to happen, I wouldn't have hesitated any longer than I already have. I should have kept trying to reach out no matter what, even if it meant making things worse with my husband and all. Huh? Excuse me, but who is this? Oak, really now? Even if we've only met once, why are you asking who I am? I get that it's been years now since then, but I'm the one person you should be able to remember the most. No, I truly don't remember. At the very least, I don't think we've exchanged phone numbers or anything, have we? Because you're not showing up in my contacts anywhere, and there is no texter ID. Where'd you even get my number from? It was on my son's phone, your husband's phone, that is, and I made sure to get it off there so I could finally get in touch with you again. Huh? Wait, are you trying to say that you're my mother-in-law? That doesn't make any sense. That's exactly what I'm trying to say here. Well, I don't think that's true. My mother-in-law's phone number has been saved in my contacts for a while now. And to be honest with you, she never once texted me before and said it herself that she's more of a caller than a texter. Oh, really? Well, in that case, you shouldn't have played dumb and asked who I am if you already know me. Wait, what? I mean, you clearly know who I am since you already have my contact information in your phone, right? No, that's not at all what I just said about you, though. The person saved under mother-in-law in my phone, they aren't you. And my mother-in-law wouldn't even be texting me right now, even if she did do that.
What? Are you trying to tell me that I'm not your mother-in-law at all or something?
Yes, actually. You're not my mother-in-law, and I'm not really sure who you could be. So how about you go and check your son's phone one more time and make sure you didn't type that number into your phone wrong.
What kind of nonsense are you spouting? You're just trying to escape the blame for your crime, aren't you? Well, I'm not letting that happen, and I will make sure that you are held responsible for it.
Huh? What crime?
My son found out about your affair and left the house to go and try to investigate, and then he got hit by a car. All he wanted to do was get the evidence, but before he could move out of the way, he was knocked out completely.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? I've never even heard about any of that going on.
You're the one who ran him over, didn't you? You wanted to silence him, didn't you? All because you are too egotistical and can't stand having other people know about your faults. But I won't let you get away with this. I will never forgive you for this, ever.
Let me ask you this one more time. Who exactly are you? Because honest to God, I have no clue who you are or what you want with me.
I told you already that I'm your husband's mother, your mother-in-law. And what I want from you is to confess your crimes and then make up for them so that my son doesn't have to go through this pain anymore.
Okay, you need to listen very carefully to me. I am currently traveling with my actual mother-in-law right now. She's right beside me in our hotel room, and we are getting ready to leave and go outside. So, again, who are you?
What? What do you mean you're with your mother-in-law traveling right now?
My mother-in-law has chronic back pain, so we're staying at a spa resort for an extended trip to help her recover for a little while before her next fit of pain.
What? I'm your mother-in-law, though. What's all this nonsense about me being at a spa resort with you and having chronic back pain? Stop making up some ridiculous old lady scenario about me. I'm just getting into my 60s.
It's not made up, though. Also, if your son has been in an accident, shouldn't you focus on that instead of accusing me? If there's any foul play involved, the police will investigate, and if I were really involved, that would come to light during the investigation. I think it's best if you stop making strange accusations about people you've never met before and stop getting confused about everyone around you.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Trying to run away, are you?
There's no reason for me to run because I haven't done anything. Now, just to be clear with you one last time, you are not my mother-in-law. That much is certain. So please, please go and take one more look in your son's phone and make sure you don't have the wrong contact or phone number.
You're still insisting on that? I might call the police on you right now if you're going to continue behaving like that.
Goodbye.
Oak, lend me some money, all right?
Huh? Is this you, Candace? It's been years since you've reached out, and now you're asking for money? What about that wonderful high-earning husband of yours? You know, the one that you constantly were asking me about for some reason? Saying that you're the one who deserved a man like that? You went and seduced Mark, my former boyfriend, using your pregnancy as leverage to force a marriage, which at the time was completely insane of you, but now that I think back on all that happening there, it was totally wrong.
Ah, that wasn't exactly how it happened, but you seem to remember a lot about me, actually. Besides, at that point, you hadn't even given your answer to the marriage proposal yet, so technically it was fair game. Fair, because if you weren't going to be getting married to him in the future, that meant to me that he needed a new woman, and one who could actually love him.
Sure, I guess you could argue it was technically fair, but do you remember how you embarrassed Aunt May, who had been the one to introduce Mark to me? She spent so much time going out looking for someone perfect, all just to have the man she had finally been able to find ripped away from her and I by you. Or how disappointed Dad and Mom were with you after that whole mess. How they both told you to get out of the house and never come back to them because they couldn't even look at your face. And if I recall correctly, you didn't end up being pregnant after all, did you? You just lied about that in order to get Mark to believe that he had to become your husband then, making it all a lot easier on you.
Ugh, that is ancient history. Besides, you went on to marry someone else from some other dating app, so what's the big deal? Anyway, what I have going on with myself right now is more urgent. The money.
I have no intention of lending you money, but what happened? If you let me know why you need money so badly right now, I may be able to help you in other ways.
Well, you see, I accidentally ran over Mark with my car.
You what?
I put the car in the wrong gear and it shot forward instead of backward. And that led me to pretty much end up hitting him by mistake. Luckily, I didn't kill him at the time, but he didn't get up when I called out to him.
You are kidding, right?
He's going to be okay, no life-threatening injuries, but it's going to take him about 3 months to recover. But I couldn't just sit around waiting for the ambulance to come and get him, so I actually reversed out of there and took off to lay low for a bit.
So, let me get this straight. You want me to cover Mark's hospital bills that you ended up causing him and the car repairs? All because you're too afraid to take responsibility for your own actions?
Well, yes, that's part of it, but it's also because my affair was exposed at the worst possible time.
Excuse me?
My boyfriend, Mark, caught me in the act of having sex with him, and we were actually doing it together in the car. When I saw him watching the two of us in the car, I panicked and tried to drive away, but I accidentally hit him because I switched the gears the wrong way. And like I was saying, when I had to look out my window and yelled for Mark to get up, he didn't. There was a bunch of blood that also started to come out of him, and I just freaked out and told my boyfriend to call the ambulance, and then we took off.
What on earth were you thinking?
I know. So now, on top of everything, Mark is suing me for damages to him and for having that affair with another man. I already tried to fight the case, saying it was all an accident and that he doesn't have any evidence of me having that affair. But the judge and all of the jury wouldn't listen to me.
So you're looking at a payout of hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
You must realize there's no way I have that kind of money, right? I don't have anything saved up, and Mark was my source of income, really.
Didn't you quit your job to become a full-time housewife because you thought marrying high-earning Mark would make you set for life or something?
Yes, I did. And so what? Is that a crime?
Whether it's a crime or not, you're definitely reaping the consequences of your own actions now, don't you think? I don't even get why you would have that affair in the first place when you had gone through all the trouble of stealing him from me years ago.
I suppose I was just fed up with some things in our relationship that made me start looking for someone else to please me.
I see. By the way, sorry to change the subject, but there's something I want to ask you.
What now?
What's your mother-in-law's name?
Huh? My mother-in-law's name?
You remember, don't you? When Mark and I got engaged to one another, barely a month passed before his parents got into a huge mess and ended up divorcing. I never really had a chance to ask for his mom's full name because of all that chaos and because she was kicked out of the house and moved away before I could talk to her again. But since you married Mark, I figure you would at least know your mother-in-law's name, right?
I haven't really spoken to her much, but I think her name is Janice?
Thanks, Candace. That's all I needed to know. Goodbye now.
Wait, hold on a second. Are you going to help me out with my money situation or not?
Oak, I am officially demanding $50,000 from you as compensation.
What? Is this you again?
Yes. I've decided to take matters into my own hands and avenge my son's suffering. He deserves justice, and I'm going to get it for him. So make sure you have that money to me by next week, or I will be calling the police on you.
Suffering? Fine, whatever. Actually, it's good you started to text me. I was about to reach out to you anyway so that we could settle all of this.
Wait, what?
Can you meet me this Saturday at 9 a.m. at the parking lot in front of the west side of Central Park in City A? Let's settle this whole dispute there with one another in person.
Oh, that's sudden. But you're being strangely cooperative, aren't you?
I figured it would be more convenient for you this way, right? After all, it is you who needs the money the most and not me.
Well, yes, that does sound easier for me. And you're right that I need the money. I guess this means you're finally showing some remorse for what you did to my son. If that's the case, I won't press you too hard about everything, and I'll hold off on calling the police on you for now.
So, 9 a.m. on Saturday then?
Fine, I'll be there. But remember, I'm expecting you to make things right between all of us after what you did. And if you're truly reflecting on your actions, I won't push for a harsher penalty. Just don't forget that I'm not going to let this go easily.
Right. See you then. Candace, this is about Saturday. Are you going to be free around 10 a.m. to leave your house and come see me?
What do you want? Did you get that $50,000 I asked for ready?
I want you to come out to East Park and City B around that time, all right? Meet me in the parking lot there and we can talk some things over together.
What?
You'll be able to come, right?
And that's you saying you're going to be giving me that $50,000 I need?
Are you coming or are you not coming?
I'll be going. I will definitely be going to see you. I need that money badly, so I really have no other choice.
Then make sure to get there on time for me, please. I don't want to have to wait all day for you out there.
I'll finally be able to end all of this without having to get into loads of debt. Thank God.
Oak? What is this? What's with the blacked-out van that just pulled up here?
Ah, hello, Janice. You're right on time. How punctual and very impressive.
What do you mean impressive? What are you planning to do to me?
The people who've come to pick you up are not bad folks, so you really don't need to worry.
How on earth am I supposed to feel reassured by you saying that right now? I only came here because you said you'd give me the $50,000 that I'd been asking you for before.
But I never once said I was going to give you $50,000, right?
What? But I said that I needed all of that money from you.
Yes, and because of that, I've introduced you to a job opportunity.
A job opportunity?
The van that's here to pick you up belongs to Rogers Construction Company. It's one of their work vehicles that pulled up to meet with you, so no need to worry.
What? What exactly do you think you're trying to make me, your husband's mother of all people? I demanded $50,000 from you to avenge my son's suffering, and now you're telling me to work? How does any of that even make sense?
Isn't it because after your divorce you used up the alimony and your ex-husband's personal savings and now you owe him $50,000 and that's why you're asking me for it?
What?
Also, let's be clear about one thing here. Your son is very much alive and well, isn't he?
What does that have to do with this?
Ugh. Let me say this again. I am not your son's wife.
Oh, there you go with that nonsense again. How many times do we have to go back to square one? You were the one who was introduced to my son a while back in the arranged marriage meeting.
Yes, that part is true.
And I heard you got married to him in less than 6 months after that meeting.
Well, in those less than 6 months, his marriage partner changed and I was no longer with him anymore.
What?
Let me get straight to the point. Your son's wife, Mark's wife, is my older sister, Candace.
Your older sister?
Now, Janice, I have heard a bit about your situation. It seems that shortly after I started going out with your son, you got divorced from your husband. Because of that, you weren't informed about the results of what happened with him and I, were you?
Yes, that's probably true.
That's why you mistakenly assumed I was your son's wife. But after your divorce, I understand you met with Mark a few more times to have lunches and dinners together, right?
Yes, we did meet a couple times after that.
Well, since Mark and I exchanged phone numbers during our short time with one another, I assume you must have secretly taken my contact details around that time?
If I'd only known the name of the actual woman he'd be getting married to, none of this would have happened.
Right, but I imagine Mark didn't exactly want to tell you the truth, did he? It must have been hard to explain that he ended up marrying the woman he had been dating for a little bit's sister. That's an awkward situation to explain, and I know I'd be afraid to talk about it as well.
So, that's how all of this...
Well, I think we're done here now, right?
What?
By now, you're probably already on your way to the van that Rogers Construction brought for you, right? They've instructed me not to stay in contact after we've finished our conversation, since they'll be taking you out into the middle of nowhere and there won't be any cell service for you there.
Wait, hold on a minute!
Look, I was dragged into this misunderstanding due to a lack of information, but this is where our connection ends. Best of luck to you, and I hope you can make all of that money back to pay your ex-husband with.
Wait! Oh, don't leave me like this!
Good luck with your new job at Rogers Construction. Take care.
Wait! Oak, I've been shoved into some blacked out van and none of these guys are giving me any answers. What's going on?
Yeah, that would be Rogers Construction. You've heard of them, right?
Wait, what? No! You've got to be kidding me. Isn't that...
Yep, it's where Aunt May's been working for the past few decades now.
I know that, but that's not the point. That place is notorious for being what people call a rehabilitation facility for wayward people. It's a nightmare at these kinds of companies.
Well, sure, they're known for shaping up some rough types. But from my perspective, it's a good, reputable construction company with excellent employee training. A totally above and beyond style of operation.
Why do I have to go and work for Rogers Construction, though? This could have all been settled if you'd just given me the $50,000 I was asking you for earlier.
I never once said that I was giving you $50,000, though.
What? You knew I needed to come up with $50,000, so you're telling me this was your solution? Just throwing me into a job somewhere?
Pretty much. And that's why I had you come out to that parking lot today.
So that's what this is all about? I thought you were going to pay me.
Good luck with the job, and try your best not to piss off any of your bosses.
Oak! Give me that $50,000 right now!
At 9 a.m., Janice was picked up by the company van, and an hour later, my sister Candace was also collected by them. Although they're technically mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, they never once saw each other before heading off on separate journeys to their respective assignments, and will most likely never see one another ever again. Now, under the strict but caring guidance of their passionate senior colleagues, both Janice and Candace are reportedly spending their days utterly exhausted, battling muscle soreness and near tears as they work hard. It's tough, to say the least, but they're getting through it in order to change their ways and make that money they both need to pay other people off. As for Mark, who's still recovering in the hospital, it seems he's had time to reflect on a few things a bit when it comes to his mother and his wife. Word is, after his recovery, he plans to join Rogers Construction voluntarily as well, in order to humble himself and understand better the people like his mother and wife. So as you can see, although I was unexpectedly dragged into this situation, it's finally settled down and I didn't have to end up paying a single person the $50,000 they begged me for. Now, as for what's been going on with myself after all the drama concluded, I am taking a well-deserved break, enjoying a parfait with my real mother-in-law and relaxing after all the chaos.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Excuse me, Kate, are you really going to get married?
Long time no see, Mom. I'm not sure where you heard about all of that, but it is true that I'm getting married soon. I would really like to introduce you guys to my fiancé as well.
I don't care about your fiancé right now. How could you push your cute and amazing little sister aside and get married before her as the useless pile of trash that you are? I will not allow such a thing to happen.
Why does it even matter to you which one of us gets married first? If you're so worried about me getting married before her, then how about you talk with her and ask her to get married right now?
She is far too cute for me to say anything like that to. If I'd choose between asking her that and yelling at you like I am now, I'd choose this. Now, you get out of her way and let her get married first. This is the whole reason why you're always called useless by us.
The only ones who are ever treating me like I'm useless are you and Dad.
What are you talking about? Everybody in this family says that about you.
Well, the other day I was out with Aunt Jane and her family for lunch.
Huh?
So, was that all you had to say to me today? I was planning on telling you and Dad about how I'd be getting married soon, but that's all been taken care of now. So, can we stop talking to one another right now?
You hold it right there. Be aware that neither your father or I will be coming to your wedding then. There's never been a wedding so awful that not even the bride's parents would come to it, right? But since you're trying to get married before your own little sister, like the little rat that you are, then us not coming is what you get.
I was wondering what else you had to say to me.
Since I have the chance to, allow me to say this clearly. Just having our cute and amazing little daughter is more than enough for your father and I. We have no reason to be going out to your wedding of all things.
I see. Well, suit yourself, I guess. Are you sure you're not going to be regretting those words?
I would never regret staying away from you. Your father is agreeing with me right now as he sits here next to me looking at what we're saying.
Then I'll make sure not to send either one of you the wedding invitations. Is that really what you want to have happen, though?
You're starting to get on my nerves now, Kate.
All right, then. Well, it seems now that we've handled what we had to say today. Goodbye now.
Kate, did you tell Mom about how you're going to be getting married soon? She just came into my room out of nowhere and started going on and on about what all you were doing and left without even letting me say anything.
Oh, well, I wasn't the one that let her know about that. She had to have heard it from someone else, and then she started to text me asking about it all.
Is that right?
I'm going to assume that one of my friends from back in the neighborhood told their parents about it, and then their parents went to Mom about it afterwards.
I see. It's not like you were trying to hide your upcoming marriage from anyone or anything like that.
Not really. I was even planning on telling Mom and Dad about it all soon, too. And when I said to her that I'd like to introduce my fiancé to her, she told me she didn't care about him at all, and that's where things ended.
Are you serious? From what I saw Mom saying and from how she was acting, she didn't take things very well. Complaining about things like how we should be getting married and whatever happened to the little sister coming first kind of thing.
Remember that Mom has always been about you coming first when it comes to everything, and if that doesn't happen, she loses it.
Well, I don't really care who gets married first, to be honest. But in Mom's mind, I think she can only see two outcomes, one with me winning for her and one with her losing to you. And when she was complaining to me just a bit ago, she was saying everything like I just agreed with her on all of it and had no comments of my own to make. She made it seem like she was going to listen to me, but wasn't actually trying to.
So it's not just me who has to go through all of her crap?
Well, I can't compare what I'm going through to the amount of hell you've had to deal with. But I really do want to hurry up and get out of this house.
Just a little longer, so please hang tight.
Will do.
Bailey, I have the best news ever for you.
What's it about?
You are going to be getting married now.
Huh?
Listen, the other day you agreed with me that you didn't want your older sister getting married before you, right? When I went to your father and told him about how you were feeling, he went out and found you the perfect man to make into your husband.
What are you talking about?
The man he found is a 37-year-old who is currently working for a very large company.
He's 37 years old? I'm only 21, Mom.
Well, at this point in time, nobody's going to care about you both being 16 years apart from one another.
That's not even the problem I have. Why is all of this even happening right now? I never said anything about how I wanted you and Dad to look for a man to marry, did I?
You've always been telling me about how you wanted to get married to a very wealthy man in order to make both your father and I happy, right?
I never once said any of those things.
Oh, Bailey, you really don't have to get shy about this. We made sure to talk with your boyfriend about how you'll be going on a date with one another tomorrow at a local hotel, and we'll be staying the night there together. So please prepare for that.
Huh? Kate, I'm going to be leaving Mom and Dad's house right now.
What?
This is an emergency, so I made sure to grab all of what I could carry, and I'm going to get on the next bus out of this place before they all stop.
Bailey, hold up. What's happened?
Both Mom and Dad went out and found a man for me to marry, and I never even asked for that.
What? Did they start doing that in an attempt to get you married before me?
I made sure to give Jim a call just a second ago about this, and he said he'll be coming to pick me up at the bus station closest to his house when I arrive there. Now, if either Mom or Dad ask you about where I've run off to, please don't tell them a dang thing.
I'll make sure not to. I'll go ahead and act like I don't even know what happened. Now, be careful not to panic too much, all right?
I'll try my best.
Kate, do you have any clue where Bailey went?
What's that? Did something happen between you two?
Oh, no. I wonder when she left the house at. And pretty soon her fiancé will be coming to pick her up.
Her fiancé?
Yes, it's Bailey's fiancé.
Did she ever even have a fiancé before?
They got engaged just yesterday. Both your father and I went out of our ways to find her a man with very high specs for her to marry. And today's the day where she'll get to meet him for the first time and then go with him to a nearby hotel to have their very first date.
Did you only tell that all of that was happening after you guys put it into motion? And did you just say that this will be her first time meeting him and that they're then going to have a date at a hotel afterwards?
There's no reason for someone like Bailey to say no to such a good thing, right?
Well, you're not going to know about that unless you go and ask her how she feels about it.
I don't have to ask her to know how she feels about it. I know that her dream is to get married to a man with a ton of money, all for the sake of her own mother.
I'm pretty sure that is not at all what her dream is.
And what could a waste of time and money like you ever know about the things that Bailey and I have?
Well, whatever. As for what you were asking, I have no clue what's happened to her or where she's gone. If you want to find her so badly, then you go out and start looking for her, please.
You don't have to tell me that twice. Honestly, the only thing you've ever been perfect at is pissing other people off, Kate.
Bailey, I just got some texts from Mom a second ago, and it seems that she's only just now figured out that you're no longer home with her.
Wait, are you serious?
She was asking me when you disappeared from the house and all that.
You have to be kidding me. Well, thanks to her ability to be so unaware of things, I was able to make it over to Jim's place safe and sound. So in the end, everything turned out just fine for me.
That's right. By the way, what's your plans for going to trade school going to be? You're way too far from the school to go there now, and if you were to come back here, it would be far too dangerous for you.
That's what I was thinking about, so before I left, I made sure to call the school. And they told me that there's actually a closer office to here that I can go to a few days a week for training, and then the rest of my classes can be taken online.
Oh, is that right?
I know that it's not the best thing for the field I want to go into, but for the time being, it's a better option than anything else out there.
I see. Well, as long as you're okay with it all, I have nothing to worry about. And the fact that you were able to make it all the way to Jim safely is by far the best news today.
Are things going to plan for the both of you?
Right, about all of that. With the way things are now, I can tell that both Mom and Dad are going to not only be annoying, but a massive pain in my butt. So I just spoke with my fiancé again, and we've decided that the best bet is to give up on where we were planning to have our wedding and head out that way instead.
I think that's the better choice as well. And if you guys do plan to be out there anyway, then it's no problem having your wedding overseas as well, right? And it's not like you had really invited anyone else besides his parents anyway.
Kate! Why didn't you tell me this earlier?
It's been a few months now, Mom.
The men that both you and Bailey are getting married to are the sons of an executive director at your dad's work?
That's right. We actually went overseas and had our weddings together at the exact same time. Bailey got married to the little brother, Jim, and I got married to the big brother, John. I guess the wedding is all over with now, and the news was going to eventually make its way back to you guys. And as for Bailey, she did get married as a student, but both of Jim's parents aren't worried about that and said it would be okay.
Stop talking like you have no worries about all of this. That executive director is the younger brother of the CEO. In other words, that means that both your husband and Bailey's husband are nephews to the CEO. Why did you never tell your father and I about this earlier?
I actually wanted to tell you guys about it, but when you started to get in touch with me first, you told me that both Dad and you wouldn't be coming to my wedding, right?
What?
But even with that all being said, I thought it would be a good idea to say something about my fiancé, you know? However, after I had some talks with his parents about what to do, and during those talks I mentioned how you didn't even listen to Bailey's opinions at all, and went out to get her a fiancé when she didn't even ask for one. We talked about how after you had told Bailey that news, she panicked and got onto the next bus with whatever she could carry, and made it all the way out to Jim's place that night.
It wasn't that crazy that she had to run away from it, though.
No matter how you think about it, what you did was crazy enough to warrant her running off. You told her to go on a date with some old man and then go stay the night at a hotel when she hadn't even met him before yet. Do you not understand how scared you made her when you said all of that?
Oh, but when it came to her fiancé, Bailey said to me that she wanted to make my dreams come true before, and so...
That's what you've been telling yourself this whole time, all right.
What?
All you've been doing is rambling on and on about your dreams. And when Bailey never even had a chance to say anything about your dream, you just assumed that she agreed with it and would do as you wanted.
Huh? There's no way that could be.
Then tell me, with all those things you think she said, why did she already have a boyfriend and everything who she was ready to get married to?
Well, that's, you see, with him being the executive director's son, he has to have a lot of money.
Well, when it comes to the both of his sons, neither of them are working with him in that company, and are in fact working in a completely different line of work as remote workers.
What?
And when it comes to how much Jim is making, it's not all that great of an amount. Just enough for him to take care of the both of them for a bit. Also, it was John and I who had first started going out with one another, and later on we both introduced Jim and Bailey to each other. And we only ever learned about how their father was the boss of ours after we had been dating for a little while and started to talk about our parents more. So when it comes to you and that dream of yours, it had nothing to do with either one of us, and we never ever listened to it.
No way.
So we are done here, right? I know that Bailey has already gone and blocked both you and Dad, and I'm about to do the same thing to you both as well.
Hold on a second, please. Look, right now things aren't going so well for me.
What's happened to you now?
After I had chosen not to go to either one of your guys' weddings, and after I had done everything without listening to a single thing from Bailey about how she felt, it's really gone and upset the executive director.
Yeah, I could understand him getting upset over all of that. You pretty much went and made it seem like you didn't care about either one of his sons.
Your dad, and his position at the company, everyone's been talking about him behind his back, and right now he feels like he's not in a good place at all there.
I'm sure. That all sounds like something that would begin to happen. That's the kind of bullcrap both you and him pulled with your own daughters and the executive director's sons.
And the son of the president living next to us also works for the same company as your dad, and when he heard the news, he told his mom about it, and now that news is spreading all throughout the neighborhood, and now it's really hard for me to leave this house with everyone watching me.
I like to think you're both getting what you deserve right now, Mom.
No way! Are you not even going to try and help your father and I out of this, even just a little bit?
Is there a reason for me to want to help you both?
What?
Are you aware of just how much stress you've given both myself and Bailey over the years now? I don't think you do, and will most likely never will.
You guys have been stressed?
You go ahead and figure all of your problems out on your own now. I have my own husband to get back to now as we both begin to move into our new place and buy furniture for it.
But, isn't there at least a few $1,000s you could—
No, Mom, there really isn't. For all those times you called me so useless and a pile of trash, it's really odd seeing you begging for my help like this now anyway. Go talk with Dad about how to handle your guys' punishment, in other words, and leave both Bailey and I out of it. Goodbye now, and I'll never be seeing you again.
Kate, wait! Let me come out to you and we can talk all this over in person. What is your address? Kate!
My mom continued to call me for some time after I put down my phone, and with it getting really late for me, once I'd gotten out of the shower, I went and made sure to block her. Things were then completely silent, and I never had to hear another word from her or my dad's mouth ever again. After what had all gone down with my mom, my dad was kind of forced to quit his job at the company, and was not even given a package or anything when he left. One of the reasons he's had to go and leave the company is because he couldn't stand all of the rumors about him. He would have to spend almost every single day of his life there dealing with the crap his coworkers would give him about my mom's and his decisions. And at one point, he was even being teased by some of his teammates, saying that he would have been better off with a wife that could actually understand the difference between reality and her dreams. So with all of that constant talk getting to him, he really didn't have another choice but to go. There is one other thing, though, that played into the decision my dad made, and that had to do with money. In order to get the 37-year-old man to marry my little sister, they were paid hundreds of dollars by him as a way of saying he could pretty much do whatever he wanted with her. But due to my sister no longer marrying the 37-year-old man my parents promised him would happen, they were asked to return the money he'd given them. However, both of my parents had already used the money, and part of the reason for that was my dad's current situation at work. And normally, my parents weren't good at saving money anyways, so they both really put themselves in a bad situation. So when that man came over to get the money back, and neither of them had it for him anymore, he went and took valuables from them like jewelry and clothing, which he could go out and sell. Things became even more difficult for my dad after that, as he started looking for work due to his old age. And without the hopes of money coming from my sister or I anymore, both of my parents started to get into arguments and fights every day, throwing furniture all around their house. But after a few days, they both agreed to go out and settle with part-time jobs in order to pay for the house and food, and get all of the neighbors to stop calling the police on them due to the fighting. I'm not sure how long they can handle that situation for, though, but having blocked the both of them now, their future does not matter to me at all. And as for what's happened with Bailey, she's now back on the other side of the U.S. from my parents with her husband, taking classes at her trade school to prepare for working as a carpenter. And when things come to myself, I'm still living overseas with my new husband, working full-time as a housewife. He and I aren't totally certain what I'm going to do next here, but at least now I'm not being held down by my mom anymore and finally feel completely free.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
George? What the hell is that memo you wrote down? How could you just write down for me that you're going overseas now on a freaking sticky note? And not only have you gone, but your mother has gone with you overseas now on vacation? Is this some kind of a seriously sick joke or something?
What is going on here, Riley? Stop trying to ignore the fact that I'm just wanting to show my mom my love and respect for her by doing this.
By the way, where the hell did you even get the money to go overseas on that vacation?
About that actually, I used that thing. Remember how you got that $2,000 ticket from your dad so that you could go travel to another country without having to pay?
My dad gave that voucher to us so that you and I could use it to travel overseas and celebrate us getting married, right?
Correct, which means that I have a right to use it on whatever I want. And since now was the perfect time for me to use it, with my mom commenting on how much she'd been wanting to travel overseas for a bit, I used said voucher.
You have to be kidding me, right? That was given to us for you and I to use, so how could you just do something like that without even talking to me first?
Well, it's not like you were going to be able to take a vacation right now.
What? What are you talking about?
My mom told me that going on vacation is a luxury for a wife like you, and for me to go on vacation all by myself, that would just be too boring for me. So I asked that my mom come along with me on this one.
Huh? All of the things you're saying right now are outright ridiculous to the point I can't even understand what your reasoning was anymore.
Hey, the one who I can't seem to talk to right now is you, Riley. If you're so upset about us not having gone on this trip together and about the image it could leave behind, just lie to your dad and tell him you and I used the ticket to travel already. That should be enough to calm your nerves and his, right?
Huh?
And with that, we're done talking about this now. Now I'm about to get on the plane with my mom, so I'll see you later.
You hold it right there, George. This has nothing to do with how my dad feels about any of this. George! Jesus frickin' Christ, I don't care what happens with you or your mother.
Hey, how's it going, Riley? Have you been hanging in there?
Hey, Dad. I think that I've been doing all right.
Have things been going all right with George and the rest of your in-laws lately?
Well, let's just say things have been a bit rough for me.
Why would that be the case?
Well, on the bright side, I'm at least getting used to how the city here wants the trash and recycling done each week, and have become a lot closer with a lot of the neighbors now, to the point I can trust all of them. So not everything has been rough.
I see. Glad to see that you're getting along with the rest of the neighborhood so far.
That's right.
Right. Now that I'm talking with you, I have something else to ask about. Did you and George end up using that overseas travel voucher I'd given you for your wedding?
Yes.
With $2,000, you guys were able to have a nice little trip, right? Tell me, where did the both of you end up going with that?
Well, I'm not sure what the best thing to say about this would be.
Wait, was that $2,000 not enough for both of you?
It has nothing to do with the voucher itself, Dad, and nothing at all to do with the amount you'd given us either.
What happened, Riley? You're getting a little bit too vague for me here.
Well, the one who ended up using that voucher wasn't me.
What?
The ones who went and used it were George and his mother.
Huh?
He told me that the both of them took the voucher without even speaking to me first to go overseas with it. I was never told where they were going on that trip and for how long the two of them would be gone for. But currently, they are out of the house and enjoying themselves somewhere with that voucher.
What the hell is up with that? I gave that voucher specifically to you so that you and George would be able to have a honeymoon when you guys had time for one, since George didn't have any of the money to treat you to one. You explained all of that to George, right? Why the hell would his mother have a part in any of it? And why would he take her instead of you on that vacation?
When it comes to his mother, about her, well, let's just say that the both of them are just as bad as the other. And they both agreed to use that voucher without even coming to me first to ask if it would be okay for them to use it instead of me.
Is that right? Does this mean his mother did that with the intent of trying to cause some trouble for you? Or do you maybe think that someone like George is just a mama's boy and won't even dare go against his mother if she were to bring an idea like that up to him?
Those are both good points. And I think you're right about both of them. And it's not like either of them really understand the current financial situation at the house.
Has his father said anything to you at all about what's going on there?
Normally, he does a really good job of listening to everyone and their opinions. But recently, he's had a lot going on at the office and doesn't have the mental leeway to deal with the family much.
And does he know anything about his wife and son using your gift from me to go overseas for a little while without having to pay a dime?
Well, he hasn't been home for a little while since he's been at work for a business trip the past few days. His trip has something to do with something very important regarding the company, and I don't want to take his attention away from that by telling him all of this drama.
Do you know when he should be back from that business trip?
In 2 more days, I think.
Understood. Now, Riley,
Yeah?
can you start getting all your things packed up and ready to move back to our house?
What?
Based on what you just told me, you'll be at the house all by yourself for the next 2 days, right?
Correct. Everyone that's been living here is now out of the house for a bit, so it's just been me here all alone, taking care of things like the chores and whatnot while they're all away.
Then that makes this all the more easy for you. I'll have your mom head over there tomorrow with her pickup truck.
Wait, you're sending Mom?
When Mom looked over at my phone and noticed that both your mother-in-law and husband used that voucher without even asking you first, she sat up and said that she'd seen enough already. She told me that she's ready to head over there right now to get you, and just took the truck out to get it filled up with gas so she can leave first thing in the morning.
So this means that both you and Mom are going to have me go back to your house and stay there for a while?
Well, now that you're aware of things, Riley, I want you to leave all the rest of this stuff to me.
Are you sure, Dad?
I think when it comes to your father-in-law, I'd do a much better job of talking to him about everything, and we wouldn't have to waste all day trying.
I guess you are better at that. I'll leave explaining all of this to him up to you then.
Thank you. I'll be doing my best. What in the hell is this divorce paper all about?
Does that mean you and your mother are back from your vacation now?
We sure are, and it was because of you that she and I had to hurry our asses back to the U.S. Bringing my damn dad into all of this is screwed up, you know.
How would something like that be screwed up, though? When you're the one that went and used my dad's present to us for your mom and you without even asking.
Huh? Things that the wife owns become things that the husband owns. So what the hell is wrong with me using the voucher on things I wanted to use it on?
I would like to talk with you about what ended up going on there, actually.
Hold on, I don't even know why this is such a big deal for you, though. Where the hell have you even run off to, Riley?
I went home.
Why the hell would you go all the way back there without telling me first? You're the one who should have asked me if going back home to your parents was all right first before doing it. Do you understand what I'm saying here? When the wife wants to go back and see her parents, she's supposed to come to the husband first and ask for his permission before even thinking about leaving the house to go home.
I'm not sure what all you're talking about, George. Especially when you already heard about why this is all happening from your own father now, right? I mean, he was the one that said it was okay for me to go home, so...
Wait, he said it was okay for you to leave the house?
After speaking to my dad about what happened between you and I, he said that he'd go and have a word with your father about all of this. But I never expected that your dad would become so upset by the whole situation that he'd ask for your mother and you to rush home right away.
What are you even trying to say here? Even if I try and look at all this from your point of view, the way you did things was messed up.
How come all of this is messed up to you?
Because this is leading to you leaving me through a divorce now. And not only that, but my dad is leaving my mom now too, which means that I was told by my dad that he's no longer gonna let me become the next CEO of his company after he leaves. He said that he's now looking into other employees in the company he'd like to give the position to, and he'll be giving me a pay reduction come next quarter.
Ah, you were a manager there or something, right?
And to make all of this worse, he's gonna have me transferred out of the HQ building and into a much smaller office on the other side of the state in the middle of who knows where.
Just be thankful that he didn't happen to fire you then.
I'm not thankful for any of this. Now you listen here. You're the one that has to rely on everything I do and bring into the family to live. So if I lose a large portion of my salary next quarter, you're gonna be the one feeling that lack of money the most.
Did you already forget about how I left you with those divorce papers and moved back to my parents' house?
What? Wait, but you are... Right now, you're nothing more than a housewife, right?
What the hell are you talking about? I have been working remotely this whole entire time, George.
What?
Your mother, for whatever reason that only God knows, was the one who started to think that for some reason me being in my room working on my laptop all day was me playing games or something and slacking off from my chores. And that delusion of hers somehow managed to pass on to you as well, and you began to say the same things thinking that I was your housewife, just like your mother. I'm really not sure why the both of you were able to have such terrible delusions about me, but I never once said that I was a housewife, nor did I ever say I was playing games in my room all day.
Wait, huh?
In other words, you get the gist of what I'm saying, right? Even if you were to sign those papers and hand them in today, I would have no problem with becoming divorced. Now, as for the both of you, considering that your father has been having some really tough times with his company lately and things only seem to be getting worse for him as the CEO, he may no longer be able to afford that house you all are living in. And with you and your mother always spending all his money by going out and acting like you both are celebrities or something, you're only making things worse for your father. So in his eyes, both you and your mother are really nothing more than a couple of pains in his ass that he needs to get rid of now.
What?
But to make things really worse, while your mother and father have knowingly been taking money from my dad in order to help with your guys' financial situation and all, your mother has still had the balls to pick on me all the time. And then there's you, who should also know about my dad's money going to you all, yet you have been treating me just as badly as your mother, acting like she's been giving me hell this whole entire time.
No, wait, that's,
Then fully aware that we wouldn't be able to have a honeymoon after our wedding due to you having no money at all in your savings, my dad gifted you and I that voucher so that we could have a honeymoon using it. Yet you went and used it with your mother, the one who had helped get your family into such a terrible situation in the first place, to go on vacation instead. After having shown my dad just how little you respect what he's done for all of you, there's no way for you to make any more excuses here, right?
I was just,
Those are the reasons why your father has now told your mother he's divorcing her, and why you're now on a path that is just above being fired within your father's company. Now, could you stop trying to blame everything on me and get real for once? That's the only way you're going to be able to save yourself after this.
No way! I didn't do anything wrong, though! And my mom, she would never do anything wrong! Dad! This is your son-in-law, George. I know that Riley has been going on and on and on about how my mom has been picking on her and all that stuff, but the only reason my mom was ever doing those things to her is because she wanted to make sure that Riley was ready to take care of my family and all inside our house. So her being a bit strict to your daughter was just the result of your daughter not listening to us. None of that had to do with my mom wanting to harm your daughter in any way, all right? And if anything, my mom really loves your daughter a lot, and was only ever talking to her and treating her like that because they're so close. So please, I'd like it if you didn't think that there was something wrong with my mom. If you have things you'd like to say to me, then please go and have that conversation with my lawyer from now on. Your lawyer? I have a close lawyer who's come to help with all of this, so please prepare yourself for what he'll have to talk with you about later. No way! Well, even if both you and your mother are heading down the path of being divorced, I will at least continue supporting your father's company. What? Calm down now and leave my daughter so that you and your mother can get the hell away from my family and your father. There's no way you can do something like this to me, Dad. Yo, Riley, you get your ass back to this house right now, and you tell your goddamn dad that my mom was never picking on you while you've been living here with me.
Wait, it is too late for all of that to happen now.
I'm asking you to just say it was all a lie you told, and that should fix all of this mess.
I haven't been lying about all of this, though. And also, I've already shown both my mom and dad the evidence I had of your mom harassing me.
Huh? Evidence?
That's right. I have evidence on all of it. Evidence that makes it very clear to anyone with a brain cell that she'd been harassing me there.
Since when were you able to get evidence like that?
I started to get it the moment you and I got married and I moved into your parents' house with you, dumbass.
Huh? Why would you intentionally be getting evidence like that while married to me?
So you don't even have any memory of what started all of this? The only reason I had to move into your parents' house to live with you all in the first place was because you and your mother decided on it without asking your father or myself. And when I was away for a bit on a business trip, you both called the apartment complex I'd been living at and had them cancel the lease I had. You both even went and took all of my things without asking me and moved them all to your parents' place before I came back. When I got back and had seen the damage that was done, it wasn't impossible for someone like me to tell where our marriage was already heading.
Wait, but I'm saying the only reason you would think to get evidence of my mom like that is if you thought she was picking on you.
Yeah, I get that you both loved to call it my training as your wife, but your mother getting in the way of my work, your mother throwing away all of my cooking, your mother drenching all of the laundry in water again right after I dried it, and your mother spilling out the contents of the vacuum onto the floor after I just finished cleaning? I'm sorry, but people who actually have brains can see that nothing about that is training me to be a wife.
But even still, you gathering evidence on my mom like that...
I had no other option, right? You and your mother made it impossible for me to want to be your wife and live in that house with you all, and that's why I made my choice.
Are you kidding me?
And have you looked at your older sister's experience? The one that happened 5 years ago? Originally, it was your sister and her husband that moved in with your parents to live with them, right? And because of the way your mother would pick on her husband, treating him like crap because he didn't make as much as your sister went and let loose on you all before she cut ties to the family, right? And now both your sister and her husband are long gone, and none of you know where they went. I heard about all of this from your father, by the way.
My dad told you about all of that crap?
So, with all of that in mind now, I would like you to talk with my lawyer about any of your concerns from now on.
Wait, hold on!
Don't you ever talk to me directly. George and his mother came running out to my parents' home. They continued to bash the doorbell over and over, screaming at the top of their lungs about how they didn't agree with the divorce and about how they both wanted me to become their ATM. And then, out from the side door came a man neither of them had ever seen before in their life. It turns out that those two had accidentally been banging on my neighbor's front door the whole time, and they must have made the mistake since both our front doors are right next to one another. I'm not sure what our neighbor did to the both of them because all I could hear was a lot of screaming and crying, but the very next day both George and his mother went and got the divorces they were asked for. Right now they both have moved away into the small shack that George started to rent close to his new office. And with his more than halved income, his mother can't stand such little money coming in and has started to take on a lot of credit card debt. Out in the middle of nowhere, in a small shack located inside of a trailer park, the two are constantly fighting with one another and getting into trouble with all their neighbors over it. It's only going to be a matter of time before all of their neighbors begin to form a mob, and those two get kicked out of the trailer park as well. I'm still living at home with the both of my parents, and am happy to say that things have worked out a whole lot better for me now, not having to deal with that pathetic mother and son anymore. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.